kimataifa zaidi, wa filmmakers wa kimataifa zaidi. Sasa nia yetu sisi wa filmmakers wa Tanzania tuone fursa iliyopo kwenye ZIF. Na nimeona kuna workshops mbalimbali ambazo balozi wa Ulaya, mwakilishi wa Alliance Française na Profesa Martin, CEO wa ZIF. Mbele yenu ni 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, rais wa shirikisho la filamu Tanzania, lakini niko hapa kwa ajili ya kuona Tanzania tunanufaika vipi sasa na ZIF, kwa sababu ZIF iko miaka mingi na imezalisha lakini ilikuwa inaonekana zaidi ni kwa ajili ya kimataifa zaidi, wa filmmakers wa kimataifa zaidi. Sasa nia yetu sisi wa filmmakers wa Tanzania tuone fursa iliyopo kwenye ZIF. Na nimeona kuna workshops mbalimbali ambazo lakini imepata platform ya Netflix kwa sababu ni filamu bora na inaonyesha ubora wa hili tamasha la ZIF. Kwa hiyo niwaambie tu wadau wa filamu wa Tanzania, hii sio platform ya mchezo, tuweke watu wako very serious, wamewekeza, wanatusupport kitu cha kimataifa, na sisi tuunge mkono juhudi za wenzetu wa ZIF. Tushiriki kwa umoja, kwa nguvu zaidi ili tuone matunda yake. Asanteni sana.
Kwenye hafla hii ndogo ambayo tunajaribu kidogo kuwaeleza kidogo kuhusu tamasha la nchi za jahazi litakofanyika mwaka huu. First, let me say thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, for coming over today. We really didn't expect you to come because we would have been ready to receive a junior officer, but having you here shows how much you actually value ZIF and how much this relationship between ZIF and the European Union is much to both our advantage. So we thank you very much for this. And Ms. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, we really recognize the kind of activities that have been conducted in Tanzania by the Embassy of France and by France in general. And we realize the kind of the importance that France puts on the arts. And if there's one country that I would say Tanzania could emulate, would be France, to see how much it actually puts its energy on developing not only this film but the creative industry. So we thank you for that kind of example. We hope we can actually reach that level at one time. Asanteni sana. Na kwa kazi yangu leo ni kazi ndogo sana. Ni kuwajulisha filamu ambazo zitakuwa katika tamasha letu. Lakini kabla ya kufanya hivyo tunafanya vitu viwili. Tunafanya kazi ya kwanza ni kuwashukuru wadhamini wetu. Na kazi ya pili ni kuwaonyesha posta yetu au nembo au bango la tamasha yetu. Kwa hiyo nitafanya kazi hiyo haraka sana ili niweze kuingia katika kazi ya kueleza juu ya program, sababu naona time yetu tayari imeshasogea sana. Kwanza niwashukuru kwa kuambia kwamba tamasha hili kwa kweli la kimataifa. ZIF is actually an international film festival. Many people don't really recognize that. They think it's just a normal local festival. It isn't. And I'm going to give you data today that will prove to you how much this festival is actually valued by other people, apart from those people in Tanzania who actually recognize the importance of having this festival. But there are countries in the whole world that recognize the importance and the role that ZIF can play to their lives. The number of films that were received by the festival was above 3,430 films. We received 2,124 films from short films alone. 415 were feature films, 766 were documentaries, and we received 424 student films. That tells you what kind of role this festival plays. We received 668 films from Iran alone. The United States sent in 155. France contributed 165 films. Brazil with 160. I could go on and on and on. Italy, 115 films to prepare ZIF. We actually had to spend a lot of time in communication. We had to spend a lot of time in preparing these films, showcasing them so that these 45 pre-selectors could watch them. And therefore, just to say, I'm so proud of being the CEO of ZIF, because I think we play. But the next thing I want to say is ZIF has reached its maturity. The films that are going to be shown in the festival, but also a retrospective of ZIF. ZIF has been around for 25 years, and there are so many films that have won awards at ZIF, and we think it is necessary for us, for people to actually be able to watch them and discuss them. So the ZIF channel, which is thankfully being supported by the European Union, will be showcasing a retrospective of not less than 25 films that have been shown and have won at ZIF, and we're going to be conducting discussions on the YouTube. So for this, we're very happy, and we thank you for this support, Mr. Ambassador. I'm going to be talking later on about some of the other programs that we're going to be running, but I want to take this opportunity first to also welcome you and give you a taste of what ZIF is going to be like this year, apart from the film. And I'm going to be launching this year's poster. This is now drum roll and as you all can see, we are an island, and we depend on the sea. ZIF's logo has always got which we have been communicating with the rest of the world. For over 1,000 years, we've been communicating with the world. And this year, we foreground the Jahazi. But for all those of you guys, you can see, the Jahazi is led by this time by what? By a Kanga. And that tells you the two things that have happened in ZIF. Not only that it is a creative team, but women play an important, increasingly important role in ZIF. And beginning next year, the leadership of ZIF, all the 3 top leaders are going to be women. So that gives me a lot of pleasure. And this is actually an expression of that. We are moving. ZIF is moving, and it's moving in the right direction. 25 years on, we've shown the way to all the other festivals in Africa that ZIF is on its way. And the saying on the Kanga, as everybody knows, that every Kanga has got a saying. And we've got a very interesting say, which is actually the saying that we actually use at ZIF. We say, lake mtu halimtapishi. And lake mtu halimtapishi. The English translation for that is kind of difficult. But you can say, nothing offends its maker. Okay? You can explain it a little bit more if you want to say, you know, however stupid you are, you'll never be able to say my work is stupid. You know, you always say, this is it. So ZIF is the baby of the people of Zanzibar, and we will never give up on ZIF. So those people who thought because Busara was going to go, people of Zanzibar will never let Busara to go, just like the people of Zanzibar will never let ZIF go. 25 years on, and I can assure you, after the next 25 years, we'll be celebrating the golden jubilee in 25 years to come. Asanteni sana. Here's the festival's poster. As usual, any festival would not be a festival if it includes a number of programs. And some of the programs that we are going to include will involve a lot of workshops. And I want to just foreground some of the few workshops that are going to be run. Now, first, before I do that, I'll just highlight one new thing that's happening at ZIF. Over the few years, amongst the countries that have actually supported and sent films to ZIF for the last, 25 years. Three countries stand out, or 3 units stand out, because they're not only simply countries, they're units. This year, we are going to invite these countries to be part of the festival. They will program their own activities during a whole day at ZIF, because we acknowledge the kind of support they've given us, but also the important role they play in bringing ZIF to their own countries, as well as they bringing in their country to Tanzania. So this year we're going to welcome 3 countries: Kenya, South Africa, and this is not another country, this is a whole combination of countries, the European Union. So we're going to have a Kenya Day, a South African Day, and a European Day at ZIF this year. And I think that is an important marker of our growth. This is the 25th year, and I think it is important for us to recognize the importance of the collaboration with other countries to be able to drive this film festival and make its role visible to everybody. And as like I said, the festival without workshops, without films is not a festival. And this year we're going to have, currently we only have 6 major workshops that are going to be expected to be run. But I've already received a few more requests from a number of other countries, and we're probably going to be having another 4 more workshops coming in, and we should be able to know about them within the next 4 weeks. The 6 workshops that we expect to be doing will be 1 on documentary, women filmmaking, a documentary which will be run by the DocuBox in Kenya. Kenya's organization, 𝗙𝗑𝗄𝗧, has always been a collaborator with ZIF, and this year they're not only running a workshop, but they will be programming the whole of the Kenya Day at ZIF. This is a very important relationship that we've developed with Kenya, and we really hope that the Kenya Film Commission will see the role that 𝗙𝗑𝗄𝗧 plays in East Africa and support its endeavors. We're also going to have a TV series writing, which will be sponsored by 𝗞𝗨𝗨 Entertainment, it's an organization in Tanzania. We are going to have a workshop on women and film, which is going to be sponsored by the European Union. We're going to have a workshop on short film production, short film lab, which is going to be run by Kenya in collaboration with Wales. There's going to be an experimental filmmaking workshop, which is going to be run by Spain and an organization here called 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗪. You will be meeting 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗪 within the next few minutes. And then we are also going to have a post-production workshop on editing, which will be run by Off-Court from France. So these are the key workshops that we are going to be running this year, and I hope, because there will be so many other workshops coming up, I hope people will be registering as soon as the call for registration comes, because a lot of people take their time to register, and then they start to complain when the numbers are full. Next week we are going to publicize these workshops, and people will be asked to enroll. And then if you delay, please don't complain, because they will be publicly promoted for you to be able to put your name and come to Zanzibar. Many people feel the workshops in Zanzibar are worth a lot of money, and I know they are worth a lot of money. So you're putting in that one day of the fare to come to ZIF, and we actually subsidize your fare, because normally anybody who comes to ZIF for workshops, they pay only one way. We pay the second way, through the sponsorship of Azam Marine. And therefore, we really wish all the filmmakers who want to come to ZIF to please come to ZIF this year and enroll your name in the workshop, so that we know you have your place and you can come and participate in the festival as well. Because your time at ZIF as a workshop participants does not end with only being a member of the workshop, but you actually are able to visit all the other activities that take place during the festival. The Women in Film workshop is a very important workshop to us because not only will it discuss the role of women in film, but the role of women filmmakers, especially women film directors, in creating films. The focus this year is going to be how film directors work with their characters, how they actually work with their women characters, so that men, especially men directors, can learn from these women to see how you can respect a woman as they tell their story. Because one of the things that we've recognized that films have done to the world, and that this is to a negative element that has been done to the whole world, is men have created a view of women in cinema as being wrong. I mean, I would say it's a wrong view of women. And women filmmakers have now come out to try to show us what image of women can be created through film. And I believe if we can do that well enough, we can change the world. It is an important moment for us, and I would really, really appreciate if men would register to go and visit and attend this workshop, because it would help you to start to see how best you can actually utilize your characters, your female characters, because you're just using them for very minimal purposes. They can improve the way you work, the way you tell your stories, and the way you relate with women folk. So I really want to emphasize this to not only to the women who are going to be participating as trainees, but also for men to enroll to be part of this training, because it will give you a completely different view of what women can do and how film can be much more useful than we use them for. We are also going to have a lot of panel discussions. As you very well know, every day we have a workshop, we have a press conference where we discuss the kind of films that have been shown in the previous day, and therefore this year we're going to improve on that, and we are going to have panels of discussion. These are going to be different panels of discussions in different areas, and some of them will be by the 𝗙𝗏𝗏 Academy, who have been supporting ZIF for many years. They're going to be running a panel around film development, so film funding, film development funding, and they've already kind of funded 3 countries. So they are bringing in the winners of all the film development funds from Ethiopia, from Uganda, and from Tanzania. And these 15 people will be there to learn a little bit more, but also to exchange their experience, to understand in how they've been able to be helped by through this film fund. We're also going to have a discussion fostered by the Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific group of countries, as well as we are going to have a co-production workshop which will be funded by the 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 of Kenya. This year again we're going to have a very important competition, which is this Sembene Osman Award competition. This is sponsored by the GIZ, the German International Cooperation Agency, and even though we are not going to name the films that are going to be in competition for the Sembene Osman today, those films will be named during our next press conference in Dar es Salaam, when we are going to be launching the festival. As you very well know, 1 week before the festival, we launch it here in Dar es Salaam, and on that day we will announce the names of all the 18 films that we are going to vie for the 3 awards of the Sembene Osman Award. In the Sembene Osman Award, you get €3,000 to make another film. in the second year. And this year we're going to see some of those films that have been supported previously, and one of them would be the one of which has been supported through the last year, through their winning last year. Finally, I want to talk about sponsorship of ZIF. Many, many years ago, ZIF literally used to roll in money because there were organizations that were willing to support ZIF from its administration to this programming. Currently, the kind of funds that we get from, from our sponsors are basically for the programming. There's no fund that goes into the administration of the festival. And that is one way of killing the festival. If you can depend on Professor Martin not being paid, that's the only thing that will invariably, in the end with the festival dying. As you very well know, Busara was almost going to die because of only that. There's no administration money that is given to run these festivals. We have been pleading with the government to recognize the importance of actually having these festivals. These festivals alone bring to Zanzibar not less than $10 million a year. ZIF alone brings 6,000 tourists. If we only calculated on the $50 that each tourist pays just to enter the country, not the number of days that the tourist stays in Tanzania, the amount of money that they spend in a day, if you don't calculate that, that's the 6,000 times 50. That's how many thousands of dollars? That's $3 million already. And people don't see that. People think that ZIF is born out of love alone. No, just like Jesus said, people don't live by bread alone. They live by so many other things. And I really want to appeal to our sponsors, to other donor countries, but also to the governments of Tanzania, both Zanzibar and the mainland government, which I think the mainland government showed its example last year by actually having the Tanzania Film Awards. And they sponsored the whole of the Tanzania Film Award. The government actually paid for every cent, literally every cent of that award. They have a jewel in their hands. But as they say, if you give a diamond to a pig, they just roll in it. They won't wear it. And I don't believe that our governments don't recognize that they actually have a jewel in their hands. And they need to wear it and not just throw it in the dark. That's my end. Finally, I want to appeal to you all and to everybody that has been to ZIF. Over the last 25 years, people have been to ZIF. And we want to have a commemoration of you all being at ZIF. So I ask you, everybody who has ever been to ZIF, including Mr. Fanti, we want your photograph. Everybody who's been to ZIF, please send us your photograph. We are going to create a monument that will have every person who's ever been to ZIF sending us a first photograph, and it will be on the wall in Zanzibar this year. So please, from tomorrow onwards, we're going to give you an email address, and then later on we're going to give you a number that you can send your photos by WhatsApp and through email. We want to see you and to remember your presence during the 25th anniversary of Zanzibar International Film Festival, the festival of the Dhow countries. Asante sana. But before we end, I want to thank our hosts, Alliance Française, for hosting us again this year. They have been hosting us many number of times. Last year, again, they invited us and we were very happy to come here. this year we requested, and they are very happy to actually accept, and we can't say more than merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so very much. Ushiriki na uwezo wa timu filamu za Kitanzania ni mzuri kusema kweli. Katika miaka ya mwanzo ya ZIFA tulikuwa na filamu za Kitanzania. Ingawa filamu ya kwanza iliyoshinda ZIFA ilikuwa ni filamu ya Kitanzania, lakini baada ya hapo hatukuwa na filamu nyingine yoyote kwa miaka na miaka na miaka. Lakini baada ya mwaka 2011 tukaanza program ya kukaribisha filamu za ambazo tunaziita bongo movies, na kwa njia hiyo watengenezaji wa filamu za bongo movies wakaanza kujiwekea vipimo vingine. Mwanzo walikuwa na viwango vyao wenyewe, lakini kwa kuona kwamba wako ZIFA na wanashindana kimataifa, wakaanza kutengeneza filamu ambazo zinafikia kiwango cha kimataifa. Mwaka jana tulikuwa na filamu 16 ambazo ziliweza kuingia katika mashindano. Kwa bahati mbaya mwaka huu zimeshuka, lakini kinyang'anyiro cha mwaka huu ni kikubwa zaidi mara 5 kuliko kinyang'anyiro cha mwaka jana. Na hata hivyo kuna filamu 8 za Kitanzania ambazo zitakuwepo katika mashindano pamoja na Vuta Nikuvute. Filamu hizo siwezi kuzitaja sasa hivi, lakini baada ya muda naweza nikawapatia waandishi wa habari wakazifahamu hizo filamu ambazo zinahusika. Sidhani kwamba ni maendeleo madogo. Hiyo ni uwezo mkubwa sana kwa nchi kushindanisha katika filamu 85 filamu 8 kuwa ndio zinaingia. Na kusema kweli ni filamu ambazo zikaweza kushinda katika tamasha hili bila wasiwasi wowote. Kama ulivyoona mwaka jana, ni filamu ambayo iliyoshinda ilikuwa ni filamu ya Kitanzania. Kwa hiyo tuombe Mungu mwaka huu labda itaweza kushinda filamu ya Tanzania tena. Na ziko filamu nzuri sana za Kitanzania ambazo zimetokea mwaka huu, both feature films na short films, ambazo nadhani zitagombea sasa kama filamu nyingine zote za kimataifa. Asante.
Swali